5 tools, 5 tips, ways. Let's stick with ways, because it's like, okay.
We all came from nothing, everything that we got is out the mud, no lie. You were made for greatness, and if I can do it, you can do it too. But your soul must fly. Your soul must fly.
Today's video, 5 ways to enhance your real estate videos. I had the opportunity to film a listing video in the heart of kind of the Cherry Creek, Denver area. Really nice neighborhood, really gorgeous property. But I wanted to walk through just some of the ways to really elevate the video when it comes to real estate and making it look as clean and professional as possible. So before we dive into the tips, I want to just preface this video with there are so many ways to shoot real estate videos. And I think one of the biggest things you can do for yourself before even like picking up the camera is just understanding who your client is, whether that's the agent, the homeowner, the agency, also the type of home you're shooting. Really, it's understanding the buyer, understanding the market, understanding the area it's in, and creating a video around all that. That's what I wanted to preface this with, because when I first got into it, it was just like, yeah, just go shoot, throw on the wide angle lens and have at it. It's gonna turn out great. You're gonna do great. Just don't trip. And make sure you hit record. Before we dive into the 5 tips, the 5 ways to really enhance your videos, I just have to, real quick, Cuts just released their AO joggers. Now, I've already unboxed these. I've already shot with them. These are the dark pine AO joggers. It's made out of this Versa-Knit fabric, which is like, you know, gives this stretch. They're super comfortable, they look professional, and I think that's what I love most about them. They're very versatile, where you could wear these jogging, like literally jogging for a workout, or you could dress them up and go business casual with these things. Be sure to check out the link in the description. Gets you 15% off. Okay, back to the video. The first thing I want to talk about, and this goes without saying, like, I truly believe in the power of story. You might be one of those people who are like, dude, I shoot like 5 listing videos a day. Like, I'm just trying to pump out numbers. And if that's the case, then like you can just skip to number 2. I'll section out all the chapters down below, so you can just skip to wherever you want. If you kind of have an understanding of the story behind the home, where this home has been, who the homeowner is it a custom home? Is it in a neighborhood that is surrounded by great shopping, is surrounded by great parks, is a historical neighborhood? Like, all of those things matter in telling the story of the home. A bug just flew in my mouth. It's gross. We got our gimbal set up. We're gonna get a few shots around the house. A lot of these I'm just trying to use something in the foreground, whether it's these trees to accent the architecture of the property. Any cool features that the property might have, that's also something we want to think about and capture, along with like understanding what the agent or homeowner is saying about the house. Just some due diligence before you just walk up to the front porch. Okay, number 2. And this kind of goes with the style of the video and knowing what the style is going to be before you go in. Slow motion, the slower we can get with real estate, the better. It gives you a sense of luxury, and it allows the viewer, who is a potential buyer for this listing video, to really get an idea and grasp what this home is all about. When it comes to the slow motion footage in the edit, a lot of videos just overdo it on speed ramping room to room. And to me, one of the things that I find, and this might just be a personal preference, but I think what really elevates it and just kind of makes it a little bit more luxurious is to just do that simple jump cut instead of a quick speed ramp to the next part of the room. Or try and find ways to film where you're shooting a tight, a medium, and a wide of each scene. You can jump from a tight shot to a wide shot. I think it tells the story of the home a lot better, and it gives the viewer a chance to understand the detail of this home. Okay, number 3, we're gonna talk about camera settings. Always check your white balance. When you get inside a home, white balance is gonna shift room to room. Don't just throw it in auto because your white balance is gonna be shifting, and make sure you are at the correct white balance when shooting, because when you get into the editing room, you're gonna have rooms that look green, the next room's gonna look yellow, the next room's gonna be too pink, all because you were shooting on the same white balance throughout. This happened to me. That's why I'm bringing it up. Don't make that mistake. Check your white balance. The only other thing I want to talk about when it comes to camera settings is in post-production, we can bring up our shadows in the darker room settings. But if our highlights are just absolutely blown out, it just looks a little cheesy and it doesn't give the viewer an idea of what's through the windows. Finding that balance and making sure your exposure settings are correct is key to your post-production process. Truck. You have to bear with my ambient noise. Just a massive semi truck. Look at this. That truck literally had like 3 rolls of grass on it. The next part, my favorite part, like the gear that you bring along. And it can be anything from a very minimal setup to a full production, just depending on if we're using lighting, if we're trying to light the subject or the agent or the homeowner to do like an interview process about the home that gives us that story. So if I do bring lighting, I'm usually bringing an Aperture 120D with a softbox. The number 1 piece of gear you have to really enhance the feel of your video is a gimbal. This is key. A good gimbal. Now I use the RS2, DJI Ronin S2. Fantastic gimbal, strong motors, holds my Sony a7S III with a heavier lens. I shoot on the Sony a7S III, great camera, 4K, 120 frames per second. The other thing I bring is a Mavic 2 Pro. Here we go, we got our drone. And this case is provided by mccases.com, not sponsoring this video, but I just like to have my drone in a hard case. That way I can kind of throw it in the car, throw it around, bring it on. Like this grass right here is wet, so being able to throw it on the grass is super convenient. The next thing, ND filters. This is the Freewell ND magnetic filter package. We're making a video on this coming shortly. I thought it was gonna be this video, trying to do a little bit more with it. Make sure you have a good set of ND filters. That way you can get the proper camera settings when filming inside and outside. For the most part, you're gonna be using those outside. This camera, filters, drone. Almost forgot something I always like to bring on these shoots. Hold on. One of my favorite tools to use for exteriors of homes and neighborhoods, whatever the case may be, is the one wheel, because you just get that like extra stabilization, a little bit more movement, a little quicker movement while you're using the gimbal as well. So all right, number 5. The last thing I'm gonna leave you with to really enhance your real estate videos. Capture a narrative.
Throughout the design process, the homeowner incorporated a lot of internationally inspired materials. So when you're in the home, you get this eclectic yet sophisticated feeling that blends perfectly with the modern architecture.
And this circles back to number 1, finding a story of the home. I'm gonna leave you with that because I think there is so much power into having a voiceover while you're watching this real estate video as opposed to just a music video going room to room. Get a little bit more personal. Take a little bit of extra time in the editing process, in the production process to really understand the story, the meaning behind this video. Like, let's get creative with these things. Go full ham. That's what the kids are using, right? Full ham? Yeah, okay. That's it. That's all I got for this video. Appreciate you sticking around. I hope these little tools, tips, this video helps you out. We'll see you in the next one. Peace.